Well, the BJP seems likely to end well short of a clear majority in Maharashtra, but is all set to form a government in Haryana. The Congress has accepted defeat in both the states. The fractured mandate in Maharashtra has opened different possibilities, and it is not certain who will form the next government. In the face of it, the BJP has emerged as the largest party and likely to get around 120 seats, 25 less than what it needs to get simple majority in the House of 288 members. The smaller parties and independents don't make up for the deficit, and so the BJP will have to enter into an alliance with either the Shiv Sena or Sharad Pawar's NCP. Good afternoon, you're watching Rajya Sabha Television. I'm Frank Pereira. Before we analyze the results from Haryana and Maharashtra, let's get you up to date with the latest headlines. Celebrations in the BJP camp as trends indicate Haryana going with the party. In Maharashtra, the BJP is likely to be the biggest party, but it will need help to reach the halfway mark. Maharashtra BJP reaches out to Shiv Sena, says the now estranged political allies have always been friends, promises them a fair deal. BJP surges in Haryana with trends indicating a clear vote for change. State leaders call it a rejection of dynasty politics. And a rout for the Congress and NCP in Maharashtra and the ruling Congress in Haryana. Congress set third spot in both the states. Let's begin by taking a look at what's happened in Haryana thus far. In Haryana, the voters have spoken in a clear voice. The principal opposition party of the state, the Indian National Lokdal, that had 31 MLAs in the House of 90, became the biggest loser. That one fact indicates that, like nothing else, the resounding no to dynastic parties in the state. A sharp decline in the INLD's numbers shows the voters who voted against the ruling Congress due to anti-incumbency chose to give a chance to an entirely new player, the BJP.
Celebrations for the BJP in Haryana. But introspection for the Congress in a state that it had well within its grasp for nearly 10 years. Narendra Modi's charisma prevailed once again for the BJP to help it score on debut. The Saffron Party tested electoral voters on its own for the first time in the state when wrested power from the Congress. The verdict has given dynastic politics in the state a huge jolt. Bigwigs of almost all parties lost. Early trends showed jailed INLD chief Om Prakash Chautala's family members are trailing on their seats. Chautala had appealed for votes, saying he would take oath as chief minister from the jail. For nearly 4 decades after its creation in 1966, Haryana politics was dominated by Devi Lal, Bansi Lal and Bhajan Lal. Chief ministers from the Bansi Lal dynasty led the state for almost 13 years. Members of the Bhajan Lal clan were in power for nearly 11 years. In the third place came the Chautalas, including Devi Lal, who were in power for 10.5 years. In fact, Bhupinder Singh Hooda seemed to be the only chief minister who did not come from a popular political family. The BJP's only strategy in Haryana seemed to revolve around Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his development pitch. In the end, that was all it needed. The party seemed to sense its big chance in the parliamentary elections itself when it won 7 of the state's 10 seats. The highest ever voter turnout also worked in its favour. The Congress ruled Haryana since 2005. In the final tally, it did not even manage the tag of being the main opposition party. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let me now welcome my guest on the program. I have with me Anant Bagatkar, Chief of Bureau, Sakal Group of Papers. Anant, good afternoon. Surprised with the results coming in from Maharashtra or Haryana, or do you think they were on expected lines?
They were, I think, on the expected lines by and large. BJP was expecting that in Maharashtra they may cross 145, but I think they are getting short of that. But in Haryana, the victory the BJP has got is really very spectacular in a way, because BJP was never in the reckoning as far as Haryana politics was concerned. Means even in the last assembly, they had got only 4 seats in assembly. So from 4 to I think 50 plus.
50.
Yeah, 50. So it's a huge mandate they have got, and I think there are many factors to this success. So whatever the verdict is in Maharashtra as well as in Haryana, it's on expected lines.
Well, one thing is for certain though, I mean in Haryana we've seen all the bigwigs, the Chautalas have almost lost in Haryana. The big guns of Haryana actually has seemed to have lost, and you know, now Haryana seems to be headed in a direction where some of these smaller players or some of the unknown faces are going to be making crucial decisions in the state.
Yeah, in a way what you say is correct, because BJP did not project any particular leader as their chief ministerial candidate. In fact, there was a talk that BJP doesn't have any face in Haryana to actually project as possible chief minister of that state. So in a way, BJP will have to now search for a credible face in Haryana who will give a government of which Narendra Modi wants, or if we call it a Modi model government, which is which is at the center. He obviously be wanting to have the similar kind of a government in Haryana. So we will have to see whom they choose, because in Haryana BJP has got a mandate mainly from the non-Jat sections
Yes.
of the society.
Yes.
So we will have to see whether BJP really, because it will be again in a way a risk whether to put a non-Jat face as a chief minister in Haryana, because earlier we had Bhajan Lal. But then Bhajan Lal used to say that I am a Bishnoi Jat. And he has got many tricks. He was a trickster politician. So we don't know whether BJP has got any such leader with them. But obviously it will be very interesting to see whether BJP goes for a Jat or a non-Jat.
But how much of that will be actually driven from Delhi, because Haryana is not too far away from Delhi, and then you know a lot of what happens in Haryana could be directed, or the remote control could be here in Delhi.
But if you see the history of Haryana, means if we see this history of say at least last 25 years, when VP Singh was here and there was a Janata Dal government or National Front government, you had Devi Lal and then Om Prakash Chautala's government in Haryana. Later on Bansi Lal, then Vajpayee came, again Chautala and NDA, they were together. So Chautala was the chief minister, but in 2004 NDA lost and UPA came to power, and we had Bhupinder Singh Hooda as a Congress chief minister in Haryana. So actually the politics of Haryana is really intertwined with what is in Delhi. It's a contiguous state, very close, not very close, but it's almost Delhi is part of Haryana.
Yes.
Or Gurgaon or Faridabad, means they are also part of this
All part of the larger national capital region.
NCR. So I think obviously whatever happens in Delhi has got always got reflected in Haryana. So this time also, in a way, we can see the repeat of the history.
Certainly. All right. Now the BJP is all set to form the government in the state where it won just 4 seats 5 years ago in the 2009 assembly elections, as Anant was just mentioning a short while ago, and conceding defeat is the outgoing chief minister of Haryana, Bhupinder Singh Hooda. Now he has hoped that the new dispensation will continue the growth momentum that has been in the state during its 10-year rule. Hooda said that he accepted the people's verdict, although he refused to believe there was a Modi wave at work behind the BJP's win.
Riding a Modi wave, the BJP is all set to attain majority in the 90-member assembly.
हरियाणा की राजनीति पिछले 48 वर्षों से जब से हरियाणा अस्तित्व में आया है, परिवारवाद के, जातिवाद और क्षेत्रवाद के चंगुल में फंस करके रह गई थी। हमको पूरा विश्वास है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में एक प्रबल आंधी और तूफान चल रहा है और हम 2/3 बहुमत के साथ हरियाणा के अंदर सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं।
Chief Minister Bhupendra Singh Hooda conceded defeat, even as he hoped that the new dispensation will continue the growth momentum that has been in the state during its 10 years rule.
मोदी जी ने अपने पार्टी का प्रचार किया, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने प्रचार किया, लेकिन जनादेश है और जैसे पहले कांग्रेस को मिला, बीजेपी को मेरे ख्याल में बीजेपी की सरकार बनने जा रही है, केंद्र में भी बीजेपी की सरकार है और मैं उम्मीद करता हूं जो हरियाणा ने जो विकास की रफ्तार पकड़ी है उसको कम नहीं होने देगी।
The INLD, which was out of power for about a decade, seemed likely to end up as the second largest outfit.
किस्म का रुझान था चुनाव के वक्त में, वो भी बहुत बढ़िया था, लेकिन अब कहाँ चूक हुई है इस चीज का पता तो हम अपनी पार्टी की पहले मीटिंग बुलाएंगे।
Haryana Chief Minister Bhupendra Singh Hooda retained his constituency Garhi Sampla Kiloi. He defeated Indian National Lok Dal Satish Kumar Nandal by a margin of over 25,000 votes. Among the prominent winners from the BJP were Anil Vij from the Ambala cantonment and Latika Sharma from the Kalka seat. Latika is considered to be close to Sushma Swaraj of the BJP. Jailed leader INLD Supremo Om Prakash Chautala's family members had mixed fortunes. The same was the case with former Chief Minister Bhajan Lal's family members. In the 2009 assembly elections, Congress won 40 seats while the INLD had 31, BJP 4, HJCBL 6, SAD and BSP 1 each and Independent 7. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Chief Minister Bhupender Singh Hooda has come out and accepted defeat in Haryana. Anant, but he has also gone on to say that, there was no real Modi wave in Haryana. Do you agree with that, or do you think that there was indeed a Modi wave in Haryana?
I can't say Modi wave, but obviously the way Modi campaigned in Haryana, and there are many factors. Obviously, the way the social engineering was done by BJP in Haryana, especially taking on board non-Jat sections of the society, especially the way they entered into not actually alliance, but the way they win over this Dera Sacha Sauda, which has a large following among the Dalits and OBCs. That really, I think, helped BJP in a big way. Then also, if we go back to the campaigning, Mr. Modi, in fact, praised Khap Panchayats and said that yes, it's a good system. So in a way, he tried to either win over or to neutralize to some extent the Jat vote, so that it doesn't go against BJP. In fact, he was trying to win over a section of the Jat vote, especially the youth and young voters of that community. So in a way, I think BJP got all these add-ons which they already had some vote bank, and successfully did the social engineering which helped them to win such a huge mandate. But obviously, the way Mr. Modi campaigned single-handedly without projecting any chief ministerial candidate, I think he is also is in a way, this credit should be given to him also.
The right kind of political moves were made is something that Anant is saying. But as far as the development plank is concerned, a lot of people have been talking about the BJP's development plank, but that was not something that was really lacking in Haryana, is it? Because there has been quite a bit of developmental work that has been carried out by the Hooda government.
You see, as I said earlier, Haryana is just close to national capital, and whosoever is becoming the chief minister of BJP and Haryana, he will obviously guided by Delhi, and Delhi means Mr. Modi and his team. So I don't think that there will be any problem as far as the development and the progress of the state is concerned. We saw Haryana, Gurgaon and Faridabad, these townships coming up as industrial hubs. So I don't think there will be any problem as far as progress and development of the state is concerned.
All right, let's wind up what the topic of Haryana at this point. Let's talk about Maharashtra now. There has been a lot happening in Maharashtra as well. Let's bring you the updates from Maharashtra. Well, it's the end of the road for the Congress and the NCP in Maharashtra. The Modi magic has worked in the state at least partially. Numbers put the BJP as the single largest party in the 288-member assembly, though well short of a majority. Reasons enough to celebrate as all competition lags well behind in the state. Our correspondent Rajkamal Rao joins us for more from what's happening in Mumbai. We saw celebrations earlier in the BJP's camp in Mumbai. Clearly, the BJP is happy with what has happened. Of course, they have not reached, the magic 144 or the mission 144 was what BJP was calling it. But nonetheless, a great result as far as the BJP is concerned.
Yes, Frank, it has been a great result for BJP, and there is another news point here. The NCP has said that they will unconditionally support the BJP-led government in Maharashtra, which is giving us a huge news point because Shiv Sena BJP alliance have been on the crumbles in the last 15 days, and now they are talking to each other, but it's not very clear. But NCP signaling an unconditional support to BJP itself is a big achievement for BJP. Now they have two options, either to go with NCP or with Shiv Sena. But I have seen Advani talking to several localites in Delhi saying that BJP must go with Shiv Sena. So if they go by Advani's statement or Advani's advice, they will be most likely to go with Shiv Sena. But as of now, as far as the facts we know, NCP's Praful Patel has openly offered unconditional support to BJP. So Devendra Fadnavis, who has been the state president for last 1 or 2 years and who led party to victory in Lok Sabha and Assembly elections, he will have to take a final call on that. We'll get to know only after BJP's parliamentary party meets at 6 o'clock. But as of now, NCP is open for its tie-up with BJP, Frank.
All right, do stay with us, Rajkamal. Let me just get our guest into the picture as well and hear his thoughts on this, of course. Anant, what's likely to happen? That's going to be extremely interesting. The next 10 or 12 hours are going to be extremely crucial as to see what is going to happen in Maharashtra. But what do you think? What's your insight on this?
It will be very interesting to see whether now it is in the hands of BJP whether to accept NCP's unilateral offer or to go along with the Shiv Sena, which is their
traditional ally.
Traditional ally, and still they are allies at the center. Means
yes.
if we really speak factually, they are still in NDA. Their minister is there in the union cabinet. Even Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, they are still together. So they have not severed their ties altogether. They have kept some doors open. So obviously keeping in view the post-poll scenario, here NCP's offer, unilateral offer of outside support, I think in coalition politics, outside support is now an outdated idea, because giving outside support and just making that government as fragile as any government in a minority, because that government will have to dance on the tunes of the party which is offering them outside support. I think BJP will not take such a risk, and obviously they will look for a very stable ally, whether it is NCP or Shiv Sena. Obviously time will tell us, means maybe by this evening or this night they may clear their stand to which offer they are going to accept.
All All right, and certainly, of course. I've got a few figures here in front of me. Let's analyze some of these numbers, Anand. I mean, as far as MNS is concerned, the MNS has done extremely badly in the state of Maharashtra. In Mumbai, they've lost all the 8 seats that they had in 2009. That's a shocking result as far as the MNS is concerned, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously. Because no, shocking means actually the way MNS behaved in last, say, 2 years, especially the last 2 years, with their flip-flops on various issues, like that toll issue and many other issues. So they actually lost in the process. And suddenly at the time of election, Raj Thackeray came out with some blueprint and then giving big lectures to the people. Obviously, it doesn't really click with the voters. And it was actually expected that MNS will fare poorly, and which came true. In fact, some people were started talking that the way Raj Thackeray was organizing his campaign, the way he was getting response, so he may emerge with, at least he could maintain his tally, but it didn't work.
All right, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much, Anand Bagatkar, for joining us on the program and putting things into perspective for us as far as the two crucial states of Maharashtra and Haryana are concerned. Well, we here at Rajya Sabha Television have prepared a detailed report for you on what's happened in Maharashtra through the course of the day. Let's bring you that detailed report now so that you can understand what has happened on this crucial day in Maharashtra.
They started within an hour and a half of counting getting underway as initial trends indicated a big BJP sweep in Maharashtra. Though they may have tempered somewhat after it became clear the BJP would fall well short of a majority in the state assembly. As per figures of trends and results at 3 p.m. out of a total of 288 seats, the incumbent Congress has been reduced to 44 seats, down 38. The BJP has climbed to 118, a gain of 70 seats. Shiv Sena has leads or wins in 60 seats, a gain of 16 seats. The NCP is also down 19 seats and has a lead or wins in 43 seats. Others have 23 seats. The BJP and Shiv Sena firmly in the driver's seat. Congress and NCP bite the dust, pushed deep into third and fourth spot.
भारतीय जनता पक्षाबद्दल आणि नरेंद्र मोदीचा जे विकासचं विजन आहे त्याबद्दल जनतेने विश्वास व्यक्त केला आहे. आम्ही भारतीय जनता पक्षातर्फे महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेचा आभार मानतो, धन्यवाद देतो.
A chorus of BJP leaders lauded the party's approach to the elections in Maharashtra and shortcomings of more than a decade of Congress-NCP rule.
बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता बहुत मेहनत करके एक बहुत ही बलबूते से मगर भ्रष्ट सरकार जो था महाराष्ट्र में उसको हटाए, जनता उनको समर्थन दे, इसके लिए हम महाराष्ट्र जनता को बधाई देना चाहिए.
जो विषय पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड के अंतर्गत हैं उस पर विचार विमर्श करके फैसला लेने का अधिकार उनका है. मैं मात्र कार्यकर्ता की भूमिका निभाते हुए अपनी लीडरशिप को और हमारे सभी सहयोगियों को और कार्यकर्ताओं को मात्र धन्यवाद और बधाई देना चाहूँगी.
महाराष्ट्र और हरियाणा की जनता ने मोदी जी पे भरोसा किया है. स्वाभाविक नई भारत मुद्दा रहा, युवाओं की आकांक्षा मुद्दा रहा, महिलाओं की सुरक्षा मुद्दा रहा. मोदी जी के ऊपर भरोसा यही प्रमुख मुद्दा रहा.
केंद्र की सरकार ने 100 दिन में जो कुछ अच्छे काम किए उससे आशा की किरण जगी और लोगों ने जाति, क्षेत्र, अलगाववाद, भाषावाद इसको सबको नजरअंदाज करके विकास को महत्व दिया है.
The Congress and NCP, who'd ruled the state together for more than a decade and split just before elections, stand firmly shown the door. Amid a blame game, they speak of claimed good work having been drowned out by corruption and a flurry of scams. Massive introspection and the need for reinvention being the only way forward for the Congress party.
लोकतंत्र में जनता फैसला करती है. बहुत सारे कारण रहे होंगे और हैं जिनकी वजह से हम दोनों जगह हारे हैं. उन कारणों को हमें तलाश करना पड़ेगा, जनता के बीच जाना पड़ेगा, जनता के फैसले का हम सम्मान करते हैं।
ये सिद्ध हो गया इस चुनाव के बाद कि जो हमने कहा था एनसीपी ने कि 50-50% अगर हम लड़े होते साथ में तो बेहतर होता। हम अवश्य इस चुनाव का विश्लेषण करके कुछ सीखने की कोशिश करेंगे।
Back to the victors of the day. The numbers say the chief ministership stays firmly with the BJP. Devendra Fadnavis, the victor in Nagpur, is the likely candidate for the post. He has the green signal from the RSS. But that gap of 30-odd seats for a majority remains to be bridged yet, and that will dominate the Maharashtra political landscape for some time yet. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
That's it on this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned for our Hindi news update on the other side.